To the American audience who might be watching this sometime in the future, it will be very important to remember that when learning from Hitler, you have to start out very calmly and seem like you are really in control of what is going to happen, even though you lose yourself on as soon as you get started.
Then you will need it all. Du brauchst das Ganze in deiner verkehrten, lächerlichen Aufnahme.
So you start out by putting your hands, folding them almost in front of you, and you just wait. You just wait, and you allow the audience to feel the weight of silence in the room. And then, when the silence is getting almost unbearable, you slowly begin your speech. And you do that by just stating a few facts. A few days ago, we signed a program that we will use that will be the basis of our government. We have discussed this in depth, and we are in agreement that this should be the platform from which we will allow Germany to rise up. And then, as they feel that something is beginning to happen now, you take yet another pause, not to give it all away at once. And you can, when you watch on these old recordings, the audience, you can see that they are beginning to get really warmed up. He worked particularly carefully with the build-up, getting to the culmination, to the climax. You would say that his weakness was that sometimes he would get so carried away that he seemed ecstatic.
Denn ohne die Ganzheit wird die Einzelheit nichts bedeuten. Das heißt.
So this was really a sign of how advanced the propaganda machine of Nazi Germany was, because when you watch some of the clips of Hitler giving rally speeches, you will notice then that when you hear his speech peaking, you're not actually watching him. You're just watching. You're looking at the audience clapping, and some are
because he's going crazy up there.
Because he's going crazy, so they have said to themselves, we cannot show this. It will kind of detract from the image of a leader in control. So we will just show how.
So what's the most ecstatic? What does it look like when he's the most ecstatic that you have ever actually seen? When you see him build up to. I mean, we've seen his hair go around and his.
Yes, he would usually put his hands in front of his face, and it would seem almost female sometimes how he would express emotion about his fatherland, and when he painted the image of where we are going with this Nazi Germany, and he would do a bit like this and clench his fists and then stretch his fingers out. It was a mixture of very masculine rhetoric, body language, and very feminine body language. When he talked about the German soul. You know, he would talk about die deutsche Seele, or our hearts, and absolutely leaving out no means of persuasion, being extremely emotional. And also, what is very impressive, I think, about his rhetoric, when you look at it from a very professional perspective, and when you compare him to other speakers, more recent speakers, is that he had given so many speeches, and he had been so conscious of the need for structure and build up. Time his gestures to coincide with the items of his contrasts and his three-part lists. and some of these arrays of examples he would give. So he would always make sure that his gestures coincided with what he was saying. So this, and they would do 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 that. So then he would, on the basis of some of these elements, he would work himself up to a climax.
Yeah.
So
and there would be like it wasn't really a loss of control. It was just a loss of. He didn't really lose control. He just somebody decided, all right, this is too out of control, and now cut to the crowd.
Yes.
Yeah.
So he was very conscious of what he did always. He's written about that in his manifesto.
In Mein Kampf.
He's written very in great detail about his rhetorical devices and how he thought of the crowd, and it's very much comparable to what many modern professionals in communications say one should do. He did that very consciously, but you can always read between the lines how much he really resented people as such. He regarded them as just staffage. This is just a platform I use to promote my vision.
There was no respect for the audience.
No, not at all. He was being so cool about it.
Cynical.
Cynical, very cynical.